Good day, students. So today we'll be looking over trinomials and what is a trinomial and how do we simplify these kind of questions and how do we solve these kind of questions, trinomial based questions. So let's take this example that we have up here. This is x squared plus 2x. Right, this is what we have. Now, a trinomial is defined as three terms, right? Three terms. But here it's three terms in a bracket and the other three terms in their own bracket. And what we did with FOIL, if you remember with binomials, what we did with FOIL, it was first outers, inners, loss. But what happened with FOIL was every term multiplied with every other term in the other bracket. So we're not really going to use the method FOIL, but we're going to use the underlying principles of it. And what do I mean by that? It means that this x squared will multiply with this x squared, will multiply with this negative x, and it will multiply with this negative 1, right? Same goes for this 2x. It will multiply with this x squared. It will multiply with that minus x. It will also multiply with that negative 1. Then we look at the positive 1. It will multiply with this x. It will multiply with that. It will also multiply with that. Now, this term has multiplied with this one, and this one, and this one. This one has also multiplied with x squared, with negative x, with negative 1, as well as 1. It has multiplied with x squared, negative x, and negative 1, which means every term in this bracket has multiplied with every other term in this bracket. I hope that was clear. That is what we're going to be doing. That is how we're going to solve these kind of questions. So let's go. X squared times x squared plus x squared times negative x plus x squared times negative 1. Now we're done with the x squared. We're moving on to the positive 2x. Positive 2x times x squared plus positive 2x times negative x plus 2x times negative 1. Right? We got that. 2x, it multiplied with this x squared, multiplied with negative x, it multiplied with negative 1. Yes, we got those. And then let's look at what's left. We have 1 multiplied with x squared plus 1 multiplied with negative x plus 1 times negative, running out of space, 1 times negative 1. Just going to simplify it and then that's going to be perfect again. Now x squared times x squared, that is x to the power of 4. Now this is a positive and it's a negative. What's going to result is what? It's a negative. We first look at the signs and then we actually multiply. Now it's x squared times x to the power of 1, that is x to the power of 3. X squared, like signs first, positive, negative. What's going to come out? Negative. X squared times negative 1, that's just x squared. And then we look here, positive both signs. And then 2x times x squared, that's just 2x cubed. Plus positive, negative, we get a negative. You see, signs very important. That's what we look at first. And then that's just 2x squared. Positive, negative, that's just a negative. Then we're left with 2x. There we have x squared. Over here, we're going to have negative x. And what's on the side is negative 1 times 1, yes. And then we are just left with negative 1. After simplifying, then still we need to simplify further. What do we look at? We look at like terms. How do we differentiate like terms? We look at the variables. This is x4, this is x cubed, this is x squared, another x cubed, another x squared. This is just an x. Okay, any other x to the power 4? No, just bring it down. X cubed. So negative 1 x cubed plus 2x cubed, that's positive 1. Yes, we just have 1 x cubed. And then we look at the x squared, negative x squared minus 2, that's just negative 3, plus 1, that is positive 2. Why? Negative 2x cubed. Then we look at the x, minus 2x minus x, that's just negative 3x. Then minus 1, and what we have is x4 plus x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x minus 1. And that's what's left. That is what's left. Now let's look at a different question. Now we have x squared minus 3x plus 2, 2x squared minus x plus 4. Same rules apply. This term will multiply with that one, multiply with that one, multiply with that one. Same goes for this one. It will multiply here, it will multiply there, also there as well. Same with this positive 2. It will multiply here first, it will multiply here second, multiply there third, right? And those are the steps we follow when we are simplifying trinomials. Now let's do just that. This is x squared multiplied with 2x squared plus x squared times negative x plus x squared times 4 plus negative 3x times 2x squared plus negative 3x times negative x. We didn't get this off. Yes, and then we have negative 3x times 4. Same goes here. We have 2 times 2x squared. This is really long. I could have written it underneath, but I just want it to be linear. No, now I can't see. I'm just writing it underneath. Hopefully you're going to be able to follow. Let me just erase this. Let me just write it underneath. Let me just write it underneath. We had negative 3x multiplied with 4. And then we moved on to 2 multiplied with 2x squared plus 2 multiplied with negative x plus 2 multiplied with 4. That is what we have. This is our first step. And now we're looking at our second step. Now, x squared multiplied with 2x squared, that's just 2x to the power 4. Look at the signs first. We have a negative, and we multiply with x cubed. Same goes for here. Signs first, positive, then we just have 4x squared. Negative, positive, look at the signs first, right? And then we have 3 times 2, that is 6. X times x squared, that is just x cubed. Negative, negative, positive. Then it's just 3x squared, still negative here. And then we have 12x. Now here, that's just 4x squared. plus 2 times negative x, that is negative. That we're gonna get a negative, and then we're gonna get a 2x plus 8. And then we look at our like terms. X to the power 4, we don't have that. X cubed, x cubed. We look at x squared, x squared, x squared. And then we look at the x's. Here's an x, here's another x. Yeah. Now, do we have another x to the power 4? No, we don't. So we just bring that down. X cubed, we have it. Now this is going to be negative 7. X cubed, negative 1 minus 6. Then we move on to x squared. We have 4 plus 3, that's 7. Plus 4, that is 11. X squared. And we look at the x's. We have negative 12 minus 2. That's just negative 40x. Negative 12 plus 8, that's negative 4. And then we are officially done. So what's important to note is that every term here must multiply with every other term in the other bracket. Every term must multiply, as well as this one, and that one. And that is all for today.